You got 3 seconds. Too late. We're
What?
live.
What did you do?
I
Jerry
just sent
set
him
me
this
up.
advent calendar, and the Christmas music is still playing.
It won't
Oh
stop
my god!
playing.
Just turn it off.
I can't.
Just switch it off. We are live. It's
I
officially
found it.
live.
I found it.
so
I found it. I got rid of it.
this
I'm
is
done.
part-
I'm done. I'm fucking done. Ah.
Yeah, we're officially live. Okay, so
All right.
Jerry.
Hello. Good evening. Salutations, everyone. Welcome to BatYard Productions, another episode of BatYard's Finest. And tonight, I'm your host with the most, your Green Lantern from Oa, Jerry. And in sequential order, because we finally off-screen worked out an order.
Did we though?
Yeah, we did.
All right, cool. I'm Matt from Gotham. What's up?
I'm Josh from Metropolis. Do I say something else? I feel like I fucked that one up.
It's okay.
I'm
You're
from
always-
Metropolis.
You're
It's
just a little
perfect. Don't
slower
worry.
off the race there.
What?
Nothing. I'm
What?
just saying you're just a little slower than you usually are. But I'm
know.
not my fucking.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, as usual, we're back for another thrilling episode. We hope you all had a good Thanksgiving with your family, loved ones. And in case you couldn't tell, the theme being alien, which is what we will discuss tonight, is all about being with your loved ones and reconnecting over an important holiday. That's not Christmas, because Christmas sometimes sucks.
Well, where's
But-
the holiday in Alien?
And yeah,
I guess they have a feast. They do have a dinner. So
yeah, they had a Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah, that's what it.
But before we get into anything, we have BS, Batman, Superman, really just small talk. Try to just switch it up a little bit. I would also like to go last because I'm eating dinner right now and I'm stuffing my craw.
Okay, I'll go first. We just had a session at the Fishkill Comic Con, the IAC Con, Independent Artists and Comic Convention. So we just went there. We put up a video. So go check that out. We had some interviews. We're gonna have another video in the next couple of weeks with Robbie Foster. So that'll be coming out.
Nice.
awesome.
You got anything, Crispy?
Really, BS. I've been like busy, so I really haven't been paying attention. The only thing that caught my eye is that stupid Instagram post that I shared to you, Jerry. But I'll ask Josh how he feels about it. How do you feel on Tom Holland's playing Zorro? Because Antonio
Oh, that
Banderas.
sucks.
Because Antonio
Is that actually
Banderas.
happening?
No, we don't know. I don't know anything else but this stupid post because supposedly Antonio Banderas said that Tom Holland would be a good Zorro, and I'm like,
No.
I don't know.
No. He wasn't a good
It's-
Nathan Drake.
I still
Yeah,
haven't seen that yet.
You gotta get
so-
someone of like a
Don't do it. Well,
Spanish descent for Zorro, you know? Not just some white
Yeah.
kid.
then that's not going to feel right.
No,
and he's
the
already
vibe's gonna be way off.
He's already Spider-Man, so like you can't be Spider-Man and Zorro. That's almost like being, I don't know, Spider-Man and Batman, the same actor. It's like it just
Yeah.
doesn't fit. You can't be two. You can't be two vigilantes unless you're Ben Affleck. You can be three.
Three working on four.
Yeah.
4. Oh,
Wait, what's the
man.
next one? Well, he might.
I'm
Oh,
just saying.
he's
He's
just
already on a
joking.
roll, so he
He's
might
joking.
be someone
He'll
else.
probably be in the MCU because Matt Damon showed up in the MCU. So he might show up.
Who knows?
Well-
That might have him play Frank Castle now, the Punisher.
No, I'm sorry. I'm deleting that one.
I don't hate Ben Affleck. I know people have some hate for him. I don't hate him.
I don't think he's bad.
He's a good actor.
I think with the right role, he's a very well-rounded actor.
In the
I
right
agree.
script.
Yeah, I agree with that. He was a good Batman, but Warner Brothers screwed it up so much that they got rid of both Batman and Superman.
Well, they what's it?
They fixed that kinda. They got
Did they
Superman.
really fix it though?
They brought
Not
back.
really. I mean, they're on the midst of fixing it.
Well, they did bring back Ben Affleck for Batman and Aquaman 2, supposedly, if that ever gets released.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in Aquaman
If
2 and what's it called? The Flash, which who knows
Yes,
if that's
yeah.
even coming out.
Mm.
You like Ben Affleck's chin?
he like it.
Oh my god.
I guess he. No.
We got ads
We're getting-
popping up.
We got spam bots.
We got spam bots.
Dog,
Anyway,
don't worry.
yeah,
This
yeah,
will also lead into
Oh,
my
yeah.
BS. We have an official moderator who will be nameless until the time is right. So all these comments are gonna magically disappear.
At some
they're
point.
keep coming up.
I know, they just keep the. God.
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
All right,
But-
someone else. BS.
Before I get into mine, Josh,
Yeah.
you said you went to like an independent artist like convention. How was that? Because I saw the pictures and I forgot to text you and ask like how that went and everything.
Yeah, so the video is out now. We got some interviews. We interviewed the 501st Garrison. There was like a sector. I can't even look at. I'm gonna look at the host chat. There was a sector in New York, which was pretty cool. And then there's like some. There was At a Time Comics, which we interviewed him before at Saratoga Comic Con. So we did another follow up with him. He was actually interested in being on the podcast sometime, so we'll have to figure that out.
That's the guy
but
that
no,
made his
it
own
was
superhero
cool. It was their
comic.
first year. It was their first year, so it was like very small. It was like very small, very contained. But I think next year, it's just gonna kind of keep growing and growing. So it was a good venue.
Okay, that's
Is that-
cool. We
is
don't
that
have
on
any independent conventions down here that I'm aware of yet. So if
Oh,
I'm gonna try
really?
to be on the lookout of that.
Yeah, those we have like a few smaller ones, which is kind of nice. I don't know, the smaller ones kind of seem more intimate than the bigger
Yeah.
ones, but I don't know. I kind of like them when they're like medium based. Like I think Saratoga is a good size convention, and I like Rhode Island Comic Con, which we haven't gone to in a while.
That's not
We'll have to go
medium.
next year.
That was.
I would
not
say
medium.
that's a
large.
I think it's like a medium large, but I'm saying like that's a good size. I
Yeah.
haven't been to like one of the bigger ones like New York or anything like that.
Well, we got close to Boston Con. Was pretty big.
Yeah, that's the
felt
biggest
huge.
I've been to. Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like
Boston
Rhode
was
Island
big.
New
Con. It
York
was just like
Comic-Con
so
is
many
on my list to do.
floors.
Yeah, maybe one year. One year we got to get the whole crew, the whole BatYard
Together.
to New York.
We're gonna make it
That'd be
happen
pretty interesting.
because I want to go to New York Comic Con so bad, and or like any other like big convention. Not big because some of the small ones that I've watched videos that you do interviews for, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. That'd probably be fun.
Yeah, no, the smaller ones are fun. Like I said, it's kind of like apples and oranges. It's kind of like what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you have more freedom to kind of talk to people once it's smaller, especially if there's like celebrities or guests like that, then it's easier to kind of like take up more time with them and talk to them, and like we're more likely to get an
True.
interview at that point than if
Yep.
it's like a huge convention or something. So I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out the video. It's out now, and we're gonna have another one coming out. So,
But Josh, when you said Out of Time Comics, is that the guy that we met with that made his own comics and stuff?
yeah, he made his own comic book. Yeah, he was asking us if we're talking to him. Maybe he would be on the list of being on the show sometime. But that's a
Alright,
discussion for after the podcast. I also wanted to mention. Sorry, Jerry. I also
Oh no,
wanted
go
to mention
ahead, Josh.
that it's Kevin Conroy's birthday. So today is Batman's birthday, and I just wanted to pay respects to him and wish him a happy birthday. And thank you for being Batman. And rest in peace.
Happy heavenly birthday, Kevin Conroy. You
Happy
will
birthday,
be
Kevin
missed.
Conroy.
You were a voice of a generation. And speaking of the voice of a generation, as I'm sure many people know now because of how well he influenced other people, Jason David Frank recently just, passed. He was having, from what information I saw, he was having, issues going through a really rough divorce, and he unfortunately took his life. And so I also wanted to just take this time to say, 10 it's funny that you say, cons, because 10 years ago I got to meet him and I took a picture with him, but when I was cleaning up my Google Drive, I accidentally deleted the picture because I was going to post it like on our Instagram. And he signed it and everything. He was like a really cool dude, just really friendly. I've heard some people say he was kind of a jerk, but that's neither here nor there to me. He was like me from a fan meeting someone that they watched, on TV as a child. He was just cool. He shook my hand. We had a good laugh and a chuckle about a couple of things that he's done over the years. He was a really, really great and positive man. And I'm sad that he's gone. And
Yeah.
then I also got this. You're not going to get to see it because it's a very shiny card, but I'll post the pictures of it also to our Instagram. But I got to meet Jason Page doing the Superman pose at my local card shop on Black Friday. He was coming to sign autographs, and I was like, you know what? I got to meet him. I've probably dedicated so much of my life to Pokemon just because of this one man. And he was everything that I expected to be. He was really like just quirky. He was just bouncing all over the place. He was such a cool dude to meet. If you ever get the chance to meet him, I'll try to link his website. It's on a card that it's on a sticker that came with the card, so you all can see like where he's gonna pop up next. I highly recommend meeting him. Like even if you just get like his personalized card and like a handshake or something, it would make his day. Because when I was talking to him, I just chatted him up a little bit. I didn't want to, try to get an interview or anything because people were coming and going, like waiting. He said he didn't realize how important he was to people until like 2016. And then from there, he said, like,
What?
yeah, he didn't realize how important he was to people until 2016. He said he's been meeting people and just everyone was just so excited and just overjoyed to meet him. And he was like, this is the exact opposite of what I had imagined, but he was still really thrilled by all of it. So he was
So,
cool guy. And
so is
he
this?
also signed a Gengar, which is also his favorite and my favorite. So we have that in common.
So did he start touring in 2016 then, or
I
like?
believe so.
Oh wow! I would expect him to jump on the bandwagon for that. Never since like whenever cons started getting bigger and like everyone started going to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's really cool guy. He at the card shop that my local card shop that he was doing autographs for, he brought out like his own like personalized trading card collection. And like, you could buy one of like his cards and he would sign it. But he had like some really nice graded Pokemon cards. I think he had like even some of the old Game Boy cartridges that he would assign too.
So,
Hmm.
did you get the? How do you even like get hooked up and singing the Pokemon theme song? Like, how does that even
There
happen?
was like a family of three behind me, and that was like my burning question I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, because I could tell like the dad, he was super Pokemon nerd. I could feel it. I could feel
Hmm.
it. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna hold him up. But I got
Yeah,
the
no,
feeling it was one of those things like, you just put yourself out there and someone took a chance on him.
no, that's awesome. Yeah, did he sing? Did he sing at all? Like later
Actually,
on?
yes. So it's like for every signature he did, he would sing a little bit of the theme song, except he would add like people's like whoever's name he just autographed to it. And so then when he got to mine, he was like, Jerry gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. And I was like, yo,
Oh
this is
man, that would have been
I
cool to
wish
get the.
I
Yeah, I wish
wish
you
I
got a video of
recorded
that.
it on video
Yeah,
because that was it's
that's
a
so
different
cool.
moment of pure bliss.
Yeah, dude, I would make that my ringtone if he did that. You know, like that would be awesome.
It was such an experience. He was, like I know some celebrities and stuff, they're like okay to fans, but you could tell like he was like enthralled like for the fans and stuff. Like I'm meeting him, I'm shaking his hand, I'm looking him in his eyes, I'm like I'm telling him, I'm like, man, this is a dream come true. I watched so much Pokemon just for the intro, and now I'm getting to meet the voice behind it. It was so surreal. I wouldn't trade
Yeah.
that for most experiences in the world. I'd like to meet a couple of other voice actors who have passed, but you know, I'm quite sure that I'll get a chance to meet some other very good ones.
I just wanted to read Big Booty Danny's comment. Losing Jason David Frank was a very sad day and a reminder to please check your loved ones, even if you're only able to send a text. Yeah, that's
Yes.
very good sound advice. It's good to check up on your friends and family, even if you haven't said anything in a while. Maybe it's a good time to say it now. So thank you for that.
True.
Warren, thank you for joining us. Rest in peace to the best Power Ranger ever. Um, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. He did a lot of YouTube stuff. Like he was working with that company Bat and the Sun, which they do like a lot of shorts where it's
Oh,
like
the
this character
showdowns.
from this
Yeah.
universe versus
Yes.
another character. Yeah, what is it called? Ultimate
Uh
Beatdown or something like
Death
that.
Battle.
Yeah, no, not that one.
No, not that.
They're like live action.
Wow.
They do a live action one.
Yeah, they grab like
Oh,
cosplayers and they do live like action like death battles and everything. And I think he did his own Power Ranger, the green or the white one on there at one point. He did do one
Yeah,
of
he
those.
showed up a couple
And
yeah.
times on there.
then I believe they helped out, like Josh was saying, like do stunts for the people that couldn't do their own stunts, and if he could fit with their costume and stuff.
Yeah, super powered beatdown. That's what they're called.
Thank you, Torn.
That's yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Oh, I guess if you care about the World Cup because FIFA's going on, America beat Iran and Japan beat Germany. So I thought those were two very interesting soccer matches. I missed both of them. I actually planned to watch them, but I missed them, so I'm a little sad about that.
Haven't
I'm trying to
watched
figure out.
any sports at all. I've seen a couple football games. That's about it. I do wish I got to see some of the soccer games because yeah, I heard America's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, I heard the Japan and Germany match was pretty good, but I'll just catch the highlights whenever it gets uploaded to YouTube. Probably now.
Yeah, I was like, was it my coworker Josh? At the end of the day, when we have like about like the last 30 minutes left, he comes into my department because we're in a
No, I
room
don't.
like You're different, Josh. Damn it. So he comes into my like the room I work in because we don't really get that much traffic. It's just like me and my group of people I work with. So he just sits down, hangs out at a table, and just watches like at least 30 minutes of the soccer game. And this kid, I'm not gonna lie, if you asked him about 3 days ago about anything about soccer, he would not give you any information other than you can't touch the ball. Now, after he's been watching some of the World Cup like games, this fucker can tell you like he's like became like a master at freaking soccer with like all like the information. And I'm like, dude, like you literally came in not knowing shit. Now you can tell me players why we should be rooting for a different team because he asked us it was a Poland game I forget which like the team they're playing against, and I was
Man,
like,
I don't know
root for
what you're talking
Poland.
about. I didn't say any of this. I didn't say
Oh my
any
god,
of
I hate this.
this.
No, different Josh. So
So
yeah,
Big Booty Dandy says apparently U.S. had a bet with the U.K.
I can only imagine
bet?
what that bet would entail of.
I guess
Fish and
the
chips
US
for a
is gonna
year.
win. Yeah, not this year.
I will say this just to wrap up the FIFA talk. Out of all the sports, I gotta say, like soccer is always the most. I know football's high energy, but I've seen like clips from soccer games. That's a whole nother like wave of crazy. Cause it was, I think it was in like Spain or something. They actually have cages to divide the audience so that people don't get in fights and kill each other.
Yeah. The fans are pretty ruthless for sure.
If you're rooting for the home team, go on that
But
side of the
that's
fence. Other side that way.
fun stuff.
It's all part of good
So-
fun.
I wanted to ask you guys, since you brought up Pokemon earlier, Jerry, you said Gengar's your favorite Pokemon?
Yes.
Okay. So what would be your Pokemon team if you could like pick 6? I guess it would be your favorite.
Ooh.
What would be your team?
Six.
So I guess your top 6, because I don't really have like a specific favorite Pokemon I have.
Which
you know,
gen?
So I'll give you,
That's
I'll
the
give you
thing.
6.
Which generation?
Let's keep it Gen 1, Crispy.
Okay. Oh, fuck.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, I have my 6.
This
I
may
have
be
my
an
6.
hour. Do you?
I
have
gotta
my
write
6.
mine down so I remember.
I'm also gonna write mine down. I'm gonna send it in our group text.
I just had 3. I got
You
3
only have
more.
to- Oh. No, damn straight, Big Booty Dandy. That's what I said. For another hour, we're gonna be thinking.
Yeah, we're gonna have a battle right now.
Send some memes later. Okay.
What is that thing
no.
called? What is this called?
What's the thing look like?
Oh, that's
Help.
it.
Oh God!
Okay.
You a page?
So my 6 would be Gengar, Alakazam, Primeape, Blastoise, Butterfree, and Nidoking.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Oh man, I only have 4. I forgot my other 2. Matt, go.
Hold on. I
figure out
got.
my 2.
So I'm gonna go with this one: Blastoise, Charizard, Dragonite, Machamp, Gengar, and last one. Shoot, I'm dead blank on my last one right now.
Go ahead and pick Venusaur since you want to steal Blastoise. You
No,
prick.
Blastoise is
I
my
know, everyone.
favorite.
I had Blastoise on mine. Now I gotta
I took Gengar from him, so
yeah,
we can have a
picked all of them.
legendary. Can we have a
Who's the one-
legendary?
Maybe.
Oh, you picked Alakazam too, right?
He did pick
Yeah.
Alexander.
Jerry? Oh, that was another one of mine.
If
Fuck.
we go if we can if we're allowed legendaries, Zapdos.
No, that's cheating. You're a cheater.
Yes, can we choose
disqualified.
legendary? Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Lapras, Pikachu, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Ninetales, and Labra. That's not bad. I
That's not
forget.
bad.
That's not bad.
That's
I
a
keep
good
I forget about Ninetales.
I forget Lapras is in Gen 1.
Really? I remember because that's like a focus point. Like they ride Lapis around in like the first generation Pokemon for
All right,
like a
I'm
couple
gonna,
episodes.
For me,
I'm gonna
Lapras
pick
is-
mine. What? Well,
Oh, go ahead,
Oh wait, go ahead. I
was just
gotta
gonna
think of
say-
one more anyway.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like for me, Lapras is just forgettable because you only see Lapras just a few times, and that's ever it.
It's like the Loch Ness monster of the fucking series, man. Come on. You barely see it, and then when it's like a majestic moment, it will show up randomly in the sea
Yeah.
somewhere for you. Isn't
Mm-hmm.
what and wasn't it like difficult to get a lapras in like Gen 1 like blue and was it
Oh
blue, red, and
God.
yellow? And
Trying to catch a lot of stuff in Gen 1 was just either impossible or you had to do a very specific glitch a certain way, and if you mess it up, you couldn't get it.
fuck, I remember trying to get the red Gyarados. That was annoying.
I messed
I
up the
never
glitch
got
to
it.
get a
Red one?
level. Yeah, there was a red one.
That was like the
Mm,
shiny
Oh, that's what I want.
Gyarados.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I had to look at whatever. Okay. So one is not a Gen 1. Okay. So this is my team. Golem,
Uh-oh.
the rock Pokemon,
Mhm.
Haunter, Inferior Ape, and
God,
Inferape. Not Inferior Ape.
you really just jumped to Gen 2.
Gold Duck, Kangaskhan, and Venusaur.
Genghis
Oh yeah,
Khan or Genghis Khan?
I forgot about them.
Oh, Kangaskhan, not
Genghis, not
Kangaskhan. Whatever.
Oh
Kangaskhan's a
my!
real thing, so whatever.
I know, but
That's
we don't
very
need a
interesting.
man going around yelling and killing people.
1% of all
Yeah.
Mongolians are his children because of all the rape. That's a
That's
real
very
thing.
true.
That's a fact. That
Like
is a
some
That's
fact.
people
really
don't
true.
believe that, and I'm like, look, it shows you
No,
1%. That's a lot of people.
that's factual. Sorry, it took me so long to answer my own question, so I apologize.
You blindside
I'll-
yourself. How'd it feel?
Yeah.
I was expecting you to actually have like for some reason, like on the side note, when you
I
came up with
remember
this,
I
you
did. I
it.
remember I had this like in my head, and then I was like, "Oh man, I only remember 3." So,
I'm not gonna lie, Josh. I thought you would say you would want Ekans because it's a snake, and I can see
I don't
you
like
owning a snake.
I don't like snakes. I mean,
Oh,
snakes are cool. You're okay. I don't know. I
No,
kind of like corn
no
snakes, I guess,
snakes.
but I don't know.
corn snakes
No
are
I
all
don't think
right.
I would.
snakes.
I'd own a corn snake.
Yeah, I would own a corn snake. I wouldn't.
You
I
guys
don't
can
know if
keep that.
Or what's the Eevee Pokemon? I'll pick Eevee too
There's
because I could just get
You
there's
got
I
so
so
could get
many
many. You could
EVs
just pick
now.
kind.
Eevee, and then it'll turn into a full
Yeah, and
female.
then you
Yeah,
get
because
every kind.
yeah, you just need to have the right stone or
Can
walk at it
Eevee
at the right
can
time.
Eevee so what if you get Eevee and you just give it every stone? Could it just be
It
everything?
dies. It just dies.
Because it's
Or what if you
overloaded.
give it one
Overloaded.
what if you give it one at a time? So like it turns an electric one and then you give it like the
No,
ghost
it
stone
only
or
can
whatever.
go
Would it
forward.
switch
That's it.
over? Would it switch?
No,
Would
They
it,
can only
yeah,
go
it would.
forward.
it'll only go forward
Mine
with
would
that
switch.
one.
Well, the one I
Mine is like a
got.
Digimon. It can degenerate, like I can evolve. Then
It
go
can go
back to normal
forward,
again.
back, and it go on a side path, turn into a
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Christ.
But are you guys ready to get into the short?
Yeah, it's really sorry
Sure. I
about
just want to
that.
say one more thing. Just wait for Pokemon to add the cross element forms of Eevee in there
Please
sometime.
no.
Like, wait for it.
But
We haven't
for
got
the
there
short,
yet.
I had everyone watch Alien Isolation, the digital series, and I want Matt to take this one. I know he's got some
Okay.
burning things to say.
It's just confusing. I've seen all the Alien movies, but it's been a long time. But I just don't know where this fits.
15
I
years
think
after
I
the first one.
15 years after the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, it just bothers me because all right, let me just discuss it first and I get into it. So
Yes.
right
yes.
now we're like how Jerry just said, we're 15 years into since the first Alien movie came around, and we are meeting our main character that is Ripley's daughter, and she's working for the whaling company, and she's out seeking her long lost mother that disappeared. Hello, ads again, but And as she's like looking for her mother, she's working for the whaling company, and she is doing more maintenance and repairs and other kind of like just teleporting around with like crews to make sure everything goes right with them. And they finally found a like a recorder from her ship that went missing like 15 years ago. And they just told her, "Well, we're going to take you to, I believe, the space station turret to go retrieve the box because they had to take it in because it's corporate property and they want to look over the evidence up on it, what was on it." So they had a team that was going there anyway, so they added her to the crew. And as she went on this venture, basically to this new station, they meet the station. It's in decay, basically in decay. Like everything's going wrong with it. Supposedly, a mysterious asteroid crash landed into the station and caused more damage than they are expecting. And the transmissions of them trying to land were getting interrupted. So they decided to send the three main people to the station via spacesuits. And as they're doing that, stuff goes wrong and they end up getting her and these two other side characters that we meet, Samuel and I think her the other one's Tori. They get separated. Ripley ends up making it to the station and meeting up with this gentleman called Axel, and Axel and her are trying to restore certain kind of like power to the station so they can get comms back up. But as to Axel's information, everything's gone wrong. There's basically two different kind of organizations inside of this station that is just in decay and everything now. And like everyone's like mistreating each other's groups. And as they were trying to restore everything, Axel gets attacked and murders this random person that they don't know anything about. They assume it's a bad guy on the station. And when they run away, Axel and Ripley run away from that situation. They end up discovering that Axel has an attached creature to his arm, I believe it was, and he ends up dying from an unexpected xenomorph. And Ripley runs into I believe another room. They don't explain what it is, but I would assume it's like a comms area. And the xenomorph ends up coming out of the ceiling and showing itself. And while Ripley's hiding underneath the table, and it walks out into the station to cause more havoc. And that's where the second episode ends. I did watch more episodes to see where else this thing does, just to sum it up for me, because I feel like it's just a weird ending for me. Like I kind of wanted more of like a slash and dash and to be continued later. But due to where it's like her retelling of the story. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention she's in space telling us this, waiting for somebody to rescue her while this is happening. This she is telling you a prequel after like the prequel to why she's in space, just floating there, waiting for a spaceship or someone at like someone else or some other station to come by and get her. So yeah, but this is like her retelling, so I wouldn't expect it. So I expected the end of that part where she watches it walk out, but I just wanted more slash and dash from the alien a little bit. Then we end on a to be continued thing. But I don't know. I'm really thrown off by this because I don't like okay. So like I don't remember any Alien movie stating that Ripley had a daughter. I know in Alien 2, basically she gets an adoptive daughter in a way, Newt, that we lose in 3. And so I'm so confused where this daughter came from. And like, is this canon?
I
Or
don't really know. I tried looking. I know this is tied to like the Alien Isolation game, and I haven't touched anything with that since like, oh god, I think since it launched.
I never
I
touched it because I was scared of it. I didn't want to touch it. Didn't like I get scared of alien games. Like I don't know how
Matt
good.
was afraid of the game.
No. I
Really, you
didn't. I
wanna
didn't know how
play.
they would work because a lot of Alien Predator games did not do good back then. The only one that was okay was Alien versus Predator, and that still had wonky issues with it. So like I try to stay
Mm-hmm.
away with them. Like
I
I was
want
kind
to
of like,
say. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say the I have seen. I was hoping Connor would come on for this episode, but he couldn't show up. But anyway, I would watch him play the video game Alien Isolation, and the cutscenes from this is exactly the video game. Um, so that's where I was trying to figure out. So it seems like it's basically they took the movie set piece of the game and just like made it a mini series. So that's
it,
what basically this is, which is
yeah.
interesting. Um, but
AI
I don't know
Female
what when I was
2014.
watching Connor play it,
Right.
I was like pretty interested in the story, and
Mm-hmm.
I think this miniseries is pretty well executed. I mean, I to be honest, I guess we'll get into it when we talk about Alien itself. I haven't seen too much Alien movies, so you know, I don't know. I think she could have had a daughter at any point, and it doesn't really matter. I don't know, but
Well, like it
No, I
doesn't
um,
like
definitely
eh,
agree because
eh,
like in the continuity of Alien before Prometheus came out. So in the original, what like four sets, the four movies that came out, 1, 2, 3, and Resurrection. Yeah, I
yeah,
think at any point in between, before three, because three is when she died, right?
three is when she dies. Yeah, she jumps
guys,
into the
Yeah.
pit. She
So I
dies
think at
in. She
any
dives into a
point,
lava pit.
like before one, she could have very well had a small kid, and then got sent off into space, and
Yeah, because
well, so, that ties into the main movie, which we'll save for later. But yeah, I agree with Josh. I don't doubt at all that she could have possibly had a
well,
child, or
I
maybe even
don't.
cloned the child, because we know they have the capability to clone people.
Well,
yeah.
she was
I don't think it
cloned at
really
one
matters.
point.
I
But
like. I don't want to get too much into the sequels because I haven't seen them. So please don't spoil too much of it for me.
just don't watch Resurrection.
I just
Was
want to
it?
see. I just want to see the second one, and that's kind of like all I care
Well,
about.
no, you have to
Second one
go
was
to
good.
3. The second one's good. That one's a good one. That's
No,
I
I
where
like
know
the
the
second
second
you
one.
one's
get to
good.
see more That's when you get to see more action
I
and
know it's
like
James
then just
Cameron. Like
then
I know the first two are like good, and then the sequels.
three
But after that, it's kind
three
of like
is
whatever.
just a good closure. Is it the best one out of it all? No, not really. I would stick with like you saying like the first two. But 3 is a good closure to the Aliens series, and
Alien
then
franchise.
yeah, but like then we get the spin-off one. Oh, not spin-off. It's like in the
Prequel.
future, like a somewhat what?
It's a prequel.
No, it's a sequel. Is it Resurrection or some shit like that?
Oh well,
I
I
thought you were talking
And
see.
about
that's
I see.
when
Prometheus.
There's
Ron
Prometheus, which is a
Portman.
prequel.
Yeah, Prometheus
Prometheus
and
is
Covenant
sequel.
are a prequel.
I'm not gonna lie, Covenant was okay. It wasn't that bad. It worked, but Prometheus is just why did we get this? I don't know why. I understand that's the first one of the
But
prequels, but still.
we'll
Yeah,
But I
save
did
that
isolation.
for when we get into Alien.
but I
Yeah.
did look it up though. This game is canon
So
to
it
the
is.
Alien
So she did
universe.
have a daughter.
She did have a daughter, but I just don't remember. Like I'm trying to say, like I don't remember
I don't think it
her
matters.
mentioning. That's
I
the
know a
I know,
lot of
but
stuff
still, it
for
just
the
like kind of bothers me
continuity.
a little bit.
I know a lot
Like,
of stuff for Alien continuity got added after the first movie came out,
yeah,
just
I know.
because. And this is surprising. I thought this was, just an original like idea. Well, obviously it was original, but like it
Well,
wouldn't be tied in too much with the main set of movies at all. It was just kind of be freestanding to, players' interpretation.
yeah, the
But I
way
do like how Josh said it. This as them taking the cutscene cinematics, or just the cinematics to make it
Mhm.
easier. I thought it was cool. It reminded me of what YouTube channels used to do, like Machinima and Rooster Teeth, with how
Mhm.
they made like their own, like they took like an like a game, and then they
Talking about, like, Red
made
and
their
Blue?
own content out of it.
Like Red and Blue? Like Rooster Teeth's Red and Blue?
Yeah, like Rooster Teeth, Red and Blue, Machinima, Sonic for Hire. Oh god, what else? Spriggs. If
Yeah.
anybody's familiar with Spriggs, Spriggs was another good one.
It
I feel
sounds
like they should do this
familiar.
with more video games, like the mini series kind
They
of
Yeah,
like,
effect.
they
this
the
because
Like,
thing
I
is,
feel
like,
like this is a good way to, introduce people to a game, even if like not
they don't
even
wanna
to a
play it.
game, but just introduce people to a story without having them play a long ass game.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing, they
But
a lot of people do that. That's the funny thing because, like, I found a billion God of War videos. That's the movie. I found Gears of War, the movie. Like, they a lot of people do this, but
yeah,
not
but
like this.
it's not like officially the company who made the video game did
Hmm.
that. It's
No.
like
But they do
a
but the
different
thing
YouTube channel.
yeah, like, that's like the company like, the YouTube channel did the same like, did they do the same things. They
Like
do,
the
like, this
fans do that.
like, the yeah.
Yeah,
Like I think
but I
like this, since this is IGN, like this is like officially from the company. I think that's pretty cool. I think most more video game companies should take advantage of this because, like my brother, for instance, he doesn't play any video games, but like there's Ghostbusters, the video game, which is essentially Ghostbusters 3, and the Back to the Future video game, which is essentially like Back to the Future 4. So like I feel like for those people who are like fans of those franchises but don't want to play a video game, I think that'll be like a best way to kind of ingest that.
yeah, and I also think it
Yeah.
would be a a good way to introduce a original idea outside of what the franchise is known for, and see how other people do a spin on it. Kind of like oh god, what's that movie I'm thinking of? Like Bumblebee for Transformers.
Okay.
Because everybody knows Bumblebee, but nobody really knew his story, before the movie. Well, I guess depending on which variation of the cartoon and whatever other media you used, you knew his story. But I personally liked how they did his story in the movie. I thought it was kind of neat, especially since you get to see Cybertron as the war and downfall is happening. And
Mhm.
like how in isolation, you see, all right, Ripley's got this daughter. She's now running into a xenomorph, and she has to figure out how to deal with it like her mom did all those years ago.
Yeah, I liked how they're talking about her backstory and how the company was basically like her parent and like was paying for her schooling, paying for her lifestyle, paying for her therapy as well. I thought that was pretty like I like that idea that the company's basically trying to hide all the darkness that
What
they
they
had,
did.
especially
Hmm.
yeah, and what they did, and especially
What they
with
continue to
Ripley,
do.
their mom. Yeah,
Yep.
so they're trying to patch it up, especially with this little child, and like manipulate her. And now she's like kind of getting the realization that this is all their fault,
They're
which
trying to
is
give her
cool. I like that
Stockholm
idea.
syndrome in a very wholesome manner, which was,
Yeah,
I
Mm.
thought, very cool. Well, I'm not gonna say it was cool, but I thought that was a very like James Bond kind of villain way to do it. Especially with the fact that she said, "Yeah, I know what they're doing. I'm just choosing to use them for my own benefit."
I
Yeah.
wanted to read Big Booty's comment. I watched playthrough, um, and I think it was pretty good, especially since it came out during the time which a lot of stealth and survival games were on the rise. Trying to think of like
True.
other games around that time. But yeah, this is like Xbox
Um,
360 era. I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
this game.
yeah, that was
It
like 360 into Xbox One, I think.
Mm,
it says here is
'Cause-
on the Android, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, Microsoft Windows, Xbox 360, and iOS
yeah.
systems.
Like
Yeah,
I would watch Connor play it, and I was like I would actually sit down and watch it because like I didn't even need to play it, but I was kind of ingesting the story and what was going on. It's like it's even one of those kind of games where you could just watch it. So that's why I think it's kind of cool that they took advantage of that and just made it its own like mini series. I think that's a really good idea. I think more video games, like I said, should take advantage of that.
I agree, especially now with we've all seen like content creators on YouTube, take and do something enough, like I said, with an idea and just make it their own. Especially with the fact that with you what was it? I can't think of what YouTube's little premium service that they were trying to offer is, but they'd reach out to content creators and say, "Hey, we're going to give you a budget, so pitch us your project and we'll fund it." And I think that would be a good idea, a good way to expose some of these game companies and other industries into talent that's not in the main corporation, but it's just people who have a love or a fondness for a franchise and they want to put their own take on it, kind of like Ed Wood, how he was trying to make all those different movies and whatnot, and some he had his one big break, quote unquote, but the rest of them were kind of flops. And it was even if you have one success and 1,000 failures, you still have a success. And with how a lot of these game companies and whatnot are now, one success for them can essentially take them from unknown to being in the spotlight.
That's very true. Yeah, like there's a lot of video games I think that could take advantage of this, like those two I mentioned, like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. Um, Alan Wake would be another
Man, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
If somebody did that, I would want a full length movie because that game,
Yeah.
I loved that game.
I'm not gonna lie.
100% agree.
The Nair games, I think that would be a good thing to do with because Nair is a really long game, and if you don't stay like attached to the storyline good enough, you lose your way, and you're just like fuck it. Because I heard a lot of people say that, but like, oh, the games are freaking amazing, but yeah, we just screwed up, and now we're off. Like I assume they're like I know they're making an animated show of it, but
Yes,
the
they are.
games would be nice. I know, but the games would be like nice to have like the same thing as this done because they have really good cutscenes also.
Yeah, just the more we talk about it, I can think of at least 100 other video games I would love
Yeah.
to do this for. I think for me, another big one would be Predator because I watched Alien, growing up, and I also watched Predator, but Alien took the more forefront because, well, what I'm gonna say is gonna tie into the movie, so I'm not gonna say too much, but Alien is, a really nice mix of a lot of things that I love from other franchises and how they did it, especially with body horror. To me, they really switched up how you could perceive it and do it, especially if when you first see the canister, the flesh egg canister that the face huggers are in, and then you see the face hugger and it's like this weird looking cockroach thing with a tail, and then it clamps down and boom, you're now the host for a parasite and it's force feeding you, and then go on about your day. You start convulsing and boom, out pops a little worm, and then it turns into a big worm who goes around murdering people, doing the same thing.
Nah.
They do call them insects. I forgot they call them that. That's like their nickname, the insects.
And I think if somebody now was to do this with Alien Isolation, maybe touch up some of the graphics and of the
Yeah, I
cutscenes
agree.
just so they're not so jarring. I would.
Booty Daddy, you're good.
We all had that same like.
I was confused, but I finished reading it.
Big Booty Daddy's doing ads too now.
But yeah, definitely. especially since I haven't done anything with Alien Isolation in so long, this was a nice way to come back to it and be like, oh yeah, I remember like this sequence in the game from the cutscene to the next, and being just scared shitless. I mean,
So
poofless.
you
Friendly,
played the
friendly.
game.
I played a little bit of it, and then I think it was around that same time that me and Crispy first started playing games together.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
so it
Matt's
was
fault
like
that you didn't finish the game.
I'm not saying it is his fault, but I'm
We
definitely
played Gears of
not,
War too
not
much, all right?
saying it's his fault.
I think
'Cause
Greg had a share in that, okay?
it was like, yeah, Crispy. It was like that 2013, 2014
Yeah.
era. 'Cause that's when we started getting on Gears of War and a couple of other games.
Yep. Gears of War, Call of Duty, all that junk.
Destiny.
Ooh, that was yeah. Destiny came out like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
2016.
Xbox 360 was like the heyday of online gaming for sure.
Yeah.
PS. all
That's
that
when everything
era.
felt right. It felt right. Everything was like nice. The community was actually was it toxic? Yes, but like the way we had like our social setup was pretty cool. Like you could have your own avatar and all that junk. That was nice.
That was
I
That was just
definitely miss that. I don't miss
it's
how
unpersonalized now.
I don't
That's
miss
true.
how crazy people used to be, especially with how they would hack your routers and your accounts and stuff. I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
yeah,
Those
you
gaming
guys can keep
days.
that. I'm just trying to have fun and play this game. What
They
happened to
would
having
hack your
fun playing
account.
games?
You won't
Yeah,
give
Yeah,
me
like it
money.
was like I never got
Um,
my account hacked, but like when somebody was threatening to do it, I'm like, okay, I'm gone.
Big Boo Danny, you got
I
connections?
never even heard of that.
Yeah, I knew somebody who did it, but I was like, hey, if you do it, I'm gonna report you to the FBI.
Remember how
And
many
I had
times
them
we
call the FBI's main phone number, so they knew I was serious.
oh god. Remember how many times we used to freaking like oh god, we try to get our one guy banned like almost every week. God,
Yep.
we're an assholes. He
Yep.
deserved it, but
You
we're
are an asshole.
assholes. He fucking deserved it. He did deserve it,
He
that
still
kid.
deserves it.
Yeah. God, if he had the same
I
gamer tag,
fucking
I would
do.
freaking I would not hack him, I would freaking ban him again.
But Josh, what are your final thoughts and review of Alien Isolation, the digital series?
I wish I got to watch the whole thing. I watched the first 3 episodes like Matt, and then you know, I definitely will finish it. I think I'll definitely watch the whole thing. Like I said, I would watch my buddy uh play the game pretty often. You know, I would actually sit down and watch and play it. So um, yeah, no, this series really takes advantage of what it is because it is like the storyline is pretty engaging that it can become its own miniseries. So I'm just hoping like more video games take advantage of that. Like more companies should do that, like especially on YouTube. It just I don't understand why they haven't, to be honest. Like seeing all these fan made movies, like Matt was saying, like Gears of War the movie and like that they do that with all these video games, especially with like movie franchises. It makes a lot of sense because like this Alien started in the 70s, 1979, and like for people who don't really play video games from that era and just are interested in the story, I think it's like perfect for those kind of fans. You know, not every fan of the Alien is going to want to pick up a video game and play it. So, but they're interested in the storyline. So, I think this is the best good way to do it. For the series itself, I think the story is pretty engaging and it makes sense. And I, you know, I think this is like one of the better sequel ideas for Alien within the past 10 years for sure. Like I think this could have worked as its own if they kind of took this storyline and like kind of ran with it. If in the movies maybe it could work, but I think they would fuck it up. So I think just keep it a video game.
Oh, definitely, definitely. What would you rate it?
Oh, I'd probably give it a 7 for now, but it has wiggle room to grow or lower. But I don't think it would get. I think it would just progressively get better. I would stick with the 7, at least for the first 3 episodes.
Mm,
Mr. Crispy.
I'm with the same boat with Josh, but like the thing is, like it's weird, but like I like the concept where we're going down. Like after like when you told us just to watch the first 2 episodes, and I was just like, oh, this is just a cliche of a reboot, basically. We add this new character in here. It felt like it's like the what's it called? It was the was it the Star Wars the sequels crap.
The best
Right,
three
Finish
sequels, The
Awaken, the
Force
Force
Awakens.
Awaken. The
I'm
Force
gonna
I
make
saw
you
this
watch it
movie.
for Christmas.
God damn
Oh,
it!
please don't.
That's the funny thing is, it came out during Christmas. Because I remember going to take my cousins to that movie. But back to this alien. But it feels like it's like the Force Awakens to like the New Hope, and like in the first 2 episodes, until like with the little twist to it. But like once you get into the third episode, I was like, oh, okay, we're getting a bigger twist here. We're getting a bigger twist
Yeah,
because
no, there's like its
be-
own militia like after them
yeah,
too.
we
It's
had
kind of interesting. There's the aliens, well, the alien and the human faction like
yeah,
attacking at
and
the
then you
same
got the
time.
AI
It's not
drone.
just the alien, so that made it more interesting, more engaging.
Yeah, like it was like in the once you get to the third episode, you got the AIs are now rebelling at the same time, and you're
Yeah,
like, okay, fuck this, we're
there's a
we're
lot more
fucked.
going on.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, we're gonna get more interesting. And I'm like, all right, this probably has like a better outcome than what I'm thinking of. But like, I would go with like with Josh. I would go with like maybe like I give like a 7.5 about area. Like if they did decide like if it was like they polished it up, like when did they release this digital? Like I feel like after
It
the
was
game,
2019, so they had time
Yeah.
to
2019.
Oh,
Like
reanimate
they
if
it.
had
they
they
if
had
they
plenty
would
of time to
polished it
just
up
clean it
Yeah,
more,
up.
if they polished
because
up a
yeah,
little
the,
bit
the
more, I would give it a little bit more things.
I could agree with
I'm
that.
not gonna there's one part where like it's not a real like cutscene. It was more like those stationary quick cuts, and it's her talking, and it's just her doing and that's
Yeah, they
it. And I'm
none of
just
the
like,
mouth
oh
movements
god,
matched the dialogue. It was
no,
like
It
handed
no,
up.
was
it
like
was
watching an old like 1970s kung
yeah,
fu
she's
flick.
chomping at you.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, all right, we could have. Okay, I get it. It's not a legit scene because once you get to the legit scene, they're better. But once you go to that off scene stuff, there's like a quick thing. I just like chomper, and I'm like, ah. But I think that would be probably a higher level, like a higher rating because of they added more quality and like care to it. But what big booty dandy here? Quick, what was
she
it?
has
Fun
2 good
question.
questions.
Okay,
Do you want me to read them, or you want to read
I
them?
don't care.
You look pretty
Could you
engaged.
see? Okay, fun question here. Could you see aliens taking place within the same universe as Dead Space?
We're not going to answer that question because it ties into the movie, and I have something to say on that.
Okay.
Uh, how about
Well,
we? Oh,
I want
okay,
to
let's
read
put
the.
a. Okay, but let me say, let's put a pin to that question for Jerry's sake. We'll come back to it,
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good
and
point.
then we'll.
I want to read the other one. Remember when miniseries would play between commercials on TV? Would be such a great way to utilize ads. I guess I kind of remember that in like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
I
Some of
remember it
them.
more so for like cartoons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
can't tell what that emoji is.
That's
it's
an angry. That's
emoji
an angry
parting.
face.
Is it angry face? I see like more like a
A
like
surprise,
face,
a
like
sigh.
oh
But I'm gonna follow suit behind Crispy and Josh. I'm gonna give it a 6, just because like the mouth movements, like that's one thing
Mm.
that always bothers me. Like in games or like live action movies in general, when the voice lines stop and the mouths keep moving, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Are you just chewing on like backwash? Like that just it irritates me. And it's
I
such a
was
like issue that it does drop at a point. Because I was watching this, I'm like, man, I forgot how good this was. And then, when you said it was canon, I'm like, man, that's even more amazing. It does.
Yeah.
I'm leaving it at a 6 because I'm probably gonna go back and watch the rest of it when I'm off of work. But it does make me want a lot more, not just from like the alien side of it, but just in general, because like how Josh was saying, I could show this to my dad and he would not know this. Well, obviously he know this is from the game, but you could just pin it around and say like, "Oh, this is a new animated movie that they released on YouTube," and he wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do think, especially for older fans, this would be an excellent tool to segue them into newer ideas and concepts that people add in as a breath of fresh air. Almost like with how they've done the Transformers cartoons. And the Transformers cartoons are 1,001 and plenty. So trying to get somebody back into that is very difficult unless you show them something that you feel would be the best fit to their personality. But it's very good. It's very you can tell it's kind of dated from how certain like movements within the cinematics are, but it's not dated in a bad way, but you could tell it's an old technique that they no longer use. And I still enjoyed it. 6 out of 10. Fix the mouth
Yeah,
movements.
I definitely agree with that. The animation definitely could use some work if they're going to make it like its own mini series, especially in 2019. They just took the cutscenes and kind of did the easy way out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If this came out at the same time when the game was released, I think I'd give it
Makes
more
sense.
Yeah,
leeway
I
and
would
like
bump it up 2 points.
yeah. But I at the same time for me, since it's a 7, I'm just used to seeing the cutscenes looking like this. So I'm like, oh, this is just the game, you know. So like I was already kind of used to it.
Yeah, I was thinking when you're like suggesting this, I thought they actually like did a little bit more to this series and other than the game, and I was watching it and I was like, all right. But I did look into if they were gonna make a second one because I heard news that they're gonna make a second one because it
I
did
also
good
heard
enough.
that.
And supposedly at the moment there is no like there's no suggestions right now. There's no second one on the table by the same development company. But supposedly we are getting another Aliens game called Aliens Dark Descent.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
supposed
I
to be
heard.
coming out in 2023 at some point, and let's see if it comes out to be the good, like the same outcome, a good, decent story that actually can stand alone. That's not part of the actual movie franchise, and hopefully it gets put in as canon because that's nice to see when game like outsources they become canon that aren't part of the main like the movie franchises. Because I'm getting tired of people decanonizing shit that because oh we don't like it anymore crap or it doesn't fit somehow. Make it fit, make it work. But
Mhm.
I am seeing some fun like some people having some fun are and like they're doing their own like second version of the game, doing Unreal Engine 5, amazing demo
Oh
stuff though.
god.
I do want to check it out just for shits and giggles to see what these YouTube channel people have done. So,
Yeah,
oh, hopefully they do
that
some crazy
definitely
crap.
sounds fun. And now this is the meat and bones that has it's a okay, so now that we're in the movie, there's a special reason why I chose the movie that I'm going to tell you guys at the end. And I'm going to take point and give you a quick synopsis of the movie. So, we're
You're
going to be
lucky,
talking
Josh.
about Alien 1979 with the crew of the Nostromo and their awakening to find a distress signal from a mysterious cargo ship, only to find out that while it was a signal of sorts, it was to signal unsuspecting crews to their doom as they picked up a parasite of unknown origin
Damn
whose
you,
main
David.
function of reproduction was to put embryonic parasites in a host body and watch it violently eviscerate through their torso. And they must think quickly and think very fast before everyone else succumbs to the same fate. And along the way, they have to make some very hard decisions and make some very unnerving discoveries that lead them to find out why they were chosen to go on this mission. And I want to start off with just a question. What do you guys believe the budget for this movie is?
At that time, shit.
1979.
Think
Fuck.
about everything else that had come out before this. So think Star Wars, think Jaws.
I don't know. It's
So
such
Star
this
Wars came out
movie.
2 years before Jaws came out. 75. Man, I don't even know. I gotta let me look up the
90
budget
million?
for Star Wars. I'm gonna kind of cheat. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna look up the budget for Star Wars, and I'm gonna depict it.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm thinking.
You look up
and
the
I just
budget for
feel-
Jaws, Matt.
Oh, 11
Not already
million was
called
the New
Star
Hope.
Wars.
11 million was New Hope. So I'm gonna say 5 million.
I'm gonna be
Kinda like
out of
cut it
this
in half.
because I'm gonna be out of this because as I was typing in the Google, because I've been searching alien, as I type in
Oh, you
type in
suck.
budget, it automatically
Peter.
brought up alien
You
fucking
suck.
budget, so I'm out of
You suck.
this.
You cut out of the podcast.
I didn't mean it.
You're done.
It's a duo now, baby. So Josh,
I'm the only one seeing Matt flipping me off, so I'll put him back in.
So Josh, the budget for the movie was actually 11 million to match Star Wars.
Oh shit!
I was surprised too. I thought it would be lower myself. Now, what do you think
That
it
would
did
make
in
sense,
box
yeah.
office?
Ooh. I can jump in on that one. I did not find that
Opening
one.
day or like
Just
Overall.
the whole
just overall.
150 million.
Okay, 150. What you got, Matt?
Oh,
It probably is
phenomenal.
more.
I want to go with a nice. I feel like I'm highballing. I'm really feeling I'm highballing it. I'm gonna go with a 350 million.
Matt, you definitely highballed it, but Josh
Thank
was
you.
close. It did pretty good. It was 184.7 million box office in total. Now, this is also what fits into what I was going to say first. So initially, it had mixed reviews. Some people said like, "Oh, it's just a cheap copy of Star Wars and Jaws," which I can see from all the advanced technology and from how little you see of the alien in the beginning to at the end.
Those were the reviews.
That's what some
What
people
the
were
hell?
saying. But then
How old
as
are these
other people
reviews?
started watching it, they were like, "This is the greatest sci-fi horror movie to be released at the time." Because you can tell some of the inspirations that came from Jaws, especially with how it was a psychological game for a lot of it because they didn't know
Oh,
what they were
yeah.
dealing with.
This
Didn't know.
It's the only similarity with Jaws is just like how much the creature appears, but like the storyline and everything else, like that's kind of
No,
No,
The
no.
storyline is
That's
completely
interesting.
original.
He's talking about
Yeah.
the suspense and
the-
like all that.
No,
stuff.
no,
the
I
suspense and
understand. I understand that, but it's still an interesting comparison. I guess that's what was coming out at the time, so I understand the comparison. But it's just the only thing that kind of took from it was how much the creature appears and how it builds up, I guess. But that's about
It's
it.
just, yeah.
Because when I was doing my research, I saw that and I'm like, after watching Jaws, I can see the comparison, but I'm like, it's not necessarily
They're totally
a stretch,
different movies.
but
Yeah.
they're vastly different, And for
Mhm.
me,
100%.
I love the movie personally because a lot of what happened it wasn't necessarily a cat and mouse game between the humans and the alien. It was the infighting between the humans because when Kane first gets infected with the face hugger, what happens? They're trying to bring him back on the ship, and Ripley's telling him, "You can't come on.
You got to
He's
quarantine.
infected.
It's
24-hour
protocol.
quarantine." And then the robot decides to supersede all of that because of his secret mission to bring the life form back, and everything else that happens afterward is a result of them not following their proper protocols. And I guarantee, yes, at least one person would have died being caned, but everyone else could have lived. And then they could have been like, we found this weird ship thing on this planet. You can send a couple more crews if you want. They got plenty of like metal and natural resources on there. And
Yeah.
then, after the alien, after they're trying to figure out what to do with the face hugger, and they find out it has acid blood, it's falling and cutting through all the metal of the decks. They're just like, we've never seen anything like this. And Ripley's really giving them I kind of told you so. You should have left things kind of be, but you decided to exercise your own right, and look where we are now. But the one thing that definitely stuck out to me that I never get, like, as many times as I've seen the first Aliens, it always still catches me by surprise, is when the robot, Ash, starts, having his breakdown, and he just starts just spinning
God.
and just going
And
crazy.
just spurting out his fluid and everything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, it's so real, because obviously, that's very good body acting on the part of that actor, but it's just in the whole midst of everything. Not only are you dealing with this alien, now you're dealing with the fact, oh, one of us is a robot. So now there's starting to be distrust amongst everyone else. Like, okay, who else is a robot that we don't know is? Was Captain Dallas a robot for all we know? And what's up with Mother? Why did she have this secret protocol that was only revealed to her and the robot? And I had to use my captain's override to learn about it. Like, it just, for me, Alien adds so many layers on top of itself to make such a unique story that when I was reading that people at first didn't like it, I'm like, this is crazy. If you look and dissect so many pieces of it, you can tell how original of a piece this is, and also how it's influenced other works after it. Because, like, with the question of Big Booty Dandy, there is a new game coming out called the Callisto Protocol, and the suit in that game looks a lot like the suit from Aliens when they were on the planet. Not on the planet, but they were in the ship with the face huggers. And I'm like, yeah, they obviously took that right out of Aliens, and I can see where they're going with this. So I think it's also very nice to see how much of a cultural impact it's left on people, directors, and even now game producers going forward. So yes, Big Booty Dandy, I believe they could take place in the same universe.
That'd be fucked. I'm not gonna lie. That is the most fucked situation ever. They coexisted. Because that'd be hell. That'd be a hell of a situation. Because imagine if you accidentally, let's say someone could like extract like off topic now of the alien movie at the moment to finish this question. Imagine if somebody extracted like let's say like 3 eggs without them popping, and they put them on their ship. They're shipping that back, and then imagine at dead space the stuff hits your ship, and now you got that shit attacking your crew. At the same time, your crew knocked the eggs out of their concealed contain like Tupperware, what the fuck they have them in now, and the containers, and they're popping out and they're fucking attacking your fucking crew. And now you got xenomorphs and these freaking the Dead Space zombie creatures. Fuck.
Yeah,
That'd be a nightmare. And would
Josh,
they fight each other or would they go together? That
they
like would
probably
they
fight
work?
each other.
True,
What are your thoughts
aliens
on
in Dead
Alien, Josh?
Space is kind of fucked up.
Wait. Who
My,
are you talking?
mine,
Who are you asking?
my thoughts.
Josh, I was asking Josh's thoughts on Aliens
Okay.
because we've been I just went on for like a good 5 minutes, so I need to give my voice a
No,
break.
that's good. No, you introduced me to this movie. I never seen Alien ever. I haven't seen any
What?
of the
Really?
Alien movies. I seen parts of it. Connor was watching it, and like, I almost wish I didn't see that because like I was in the middle of like kind of doing something, and I was just walking by, and I saw the part where Ian Holmes' character, what is his name? The robot, the robot
Uh,
character.
Ash.
Ash.
Yeah, yeah. When Ash is like flipping out, and like he's revealed to be an android. Like I seen that, and I was like, so like that was like a sequential part to kind of be spoiled for kind of watching the whole thing through. So I knew he was an android for my first view going in, because this was my first viewing of the movie. This has always been like on my list. Is that the Blu-ray? What is that?
This is the Blu-ray box set with all 6 movies.
Oh, that's cool.
I
I
see
definitely want
Prometheus
to.
on there.
Well, speaking of Blu-ray, I definitely want to own this on Blu-ray. I want to own the first two because I know the second one's James Cameron, and I know that one's good as well. Um, I'm glad I watched this. Like the alien design looks great. I love the face hugger, and when it's like wrapping around
Kane.
Kane's neck. Yeah. What's the actor's name? John Hurt. Yeah, when he's wrapping around John Hurt's neck, and like you see it just keep coiling and like just tightening up like a snake would, like a snake would suffocate its prey, and it's basically doing the same kind of concept. That was really cool. It looked really realistic. The props, like when they take the face hugger off Kane's face, and they're like dissecting it. That looked pretty realistic. I loved all that stuff. And when the egg is opening up and like inside you're looking in, it looked like actual organs. Like I don't know what they used. That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, did they just like take a fucking piece of chicken and like chicken breast and just put veins in and like or like did they
God.
take organic pieces from like animals and just throw it in there, or did they actually make this prop? That's what I was kind of going through my head because it looked so realistic. I was like, what did they use? Yeah, no, this movie is just atmosphere. Like, especially the beginning. It's definitely slow. It's a slow pace, but it works for the movie because you're inside the crew. You're with everyone. You're with Ripley, with Kane. You're with Brett Parker, Dallas. Like you're in with them. And they're just like regular crew members who are. I don't know what exactly they're hauling some minerals. Is that what their objective is?
Yeah, they're hauling. So I think the setting for the movie is that Earth is running out of resources, so they're branching out to other planets, trying to mine similar resources to bring back and keep the world going.
Yeah, which is probably a concept that's actually going to be in fruition in the next couple, 100 years or so. And so
Elon
that's
Musk,
probably will
send
happen.
us to Mars.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So no, I love the set design too. Um, the models look great. The planets look great. The only thing with the models, like I was thinking about Star Wars, like Star Wars came out 2 years prior. I think the models, for some reason, I don't think it's like how they're designed that looks better. I think it was just like how it was filmed by ILM made it look more realistic in Star Wars versus this. I don't know. I think it was just like how the shutter speed was rolling for the models. I don't know if you like. I don't know. That might have just been me. I don't know if you like thought
I
that
didn't. I
while you're
did
watching.
notice that how they filmed it made the equipment look a lot better.
Yeah. So yeah, there was like the only nitpicks. There's only nitpicks I have. Like I was like, oh, the models. I was like, the models look great, but I think it looked better in Star Wars, which was like 2 years prior. And then the only other minor nitpick I have is like some of the shots are not totally in focus. But
Yeah.
that's really it. that's
No, that's the
that's
same
my
thing
only
I said.
things. Yeah. those
One thing
those are like my
I,
nothing with the story, nothing with the plot, anything else. It's just like just minor technical things.
one thing I want to touch on that I loved that Alien, I feel like Alien did this in such a way that everyone else has tried to recreate it so many times is the body and psychological horror in this,
Mm.
because we all know what
Uh,
happens after the face hugger pops out. Obviously, the person it was in is dead. And then, when I can't think of it's not Parker, but Brett, the guy with the cap that's the other electrician,
yes,
when he
yes.
goes looking for the
Oh,
cat and he sees
yes.
like the shed skin, he's like, okay, we have a little, he's like, okay, we have a problem, but he doesn't know how big of a problem. And then when he sees the xenomorph, he's like, oh, we have a big problem. And since the comm links are open on all channels through the decks, everyone can hear it, like his screams and everything. And so now they're like, okay, now we have to figure out how big has it gotten and how big will it continue to get. And then after that, it's also a matter of, how do we deal with it? Because do we just shoot it in the space where it might die because we humans can't survive without oxygen? Or do we just try to kill it with fire because, fire kills 99% of everything? So it's just, there's so much just going on out with and outside of the monster that, well, not the monster, but the xenomorph, because the xenomorph is its official title. There's just so much going on with it that you don't know, almost at a time, you don't know what direction they might take. Like, when I first watched this, I thought the xenomorph was going to start, messing with the engines and crash land the ship somewhere
Mm-hmm.
so that, it would find a habitable planet and start reproducing and maybe get some intelligence and lure some more people in to continue, breeding and growing its population. Or after watching it probably about my third time, I was like, okay, well, what if it decided to just freaking kill everyone and get a free ride back to their home planet? Which I guess
That
in
would be
essence
neat.
was the secret mission. But you don't think that, when your first couple of views. Well, I didn't, at least. I was pretty young when I watched this. But now I'm like, yeah, this is perfect as is. I would change maybe just a few things, just a few small things. I would get rid of the cat. The cat was the cat
Jones, you
annoyed
get
me.
rid of Jones.
I thought the cat. I like the cat. I thought the cat
The
was a good aspect of it because, like Matt was saying, I think one of you were saying like it's like a cat and mouse chase, and like I thought it was kind of
Oh,
interesting
sure.
to have the cat in there because like it's that primal aspect at the same time, and like at the end of the movie, Jones is Ripley's only companion, So I thought it was kind of nice that she
I
had
mean, it was
something.
nice, but it was just like, you've just dealt with this unknown entity, this unknown organism. And, I get the sentiment of saving the cat because, the cat was her last shred of humanity. Because I feel like if, something would have happened to the cat, she would have went insane. And then when they got into Aliens 2, they'd have her, locked up in some kind of psych ward in some kind of way.
Mm.
Big Booty Dandy says the cat was the best, and I have to agree with
Well,
her.
the thing is, the cat was like a natural like radar for them.
Hmm.
Like it would notice and sense the alien before anybody else would, and it would start hissing and annoying. But nobody understood it's like seeing this creature behind them, and they would never put it to like the two like it together. Like, oh, there's fucking something behind me.
Yeah,
Like no one would put.
it
Yeah.
They
would,
all think the cat was just being a dick, but really, it's like no. There is something pissing me off right there behind you, and I'm not even getting mad at you right now.
yeah.
And he gets to
Like Matt
watch
was,
this. And this cat has the most trauma, I would assume, out of all of them. In the way he witnessed almost everyone's deaths at some point in the movie. and it's just like, what the fuck? This cat.
He
Did he
didn't
witness
witness Captain
Parker's?
Dallas's death.
No, I mean like
Yeah.
every like most. To me, it
I
felt like
think
it
he
felt
was
like
there for Parker's. No, he wasn't there for Parker because Parker and the other lady were there by
yeah.
themselves
She
with the
annoyed me.
coolant
That
can.
scene
Right.
annoyed the
Yeah.
hell
I don't
out of me. No, that scene annoyed me because he's trying to get Parker the lady. The Parker's trying to get the lady to move and do stuff, and she's just like, "No, I'm not fucking doing this shit." And he was just like, "Fuck."
Well, she at that point she was just mentally broken. She couldn't
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
what she
I
was
think she,
looking at. She couldn't figure out. Okay, well, what do I need to do next? What's happening?
she was frozen with
But I
fear.
do
She
feel
was like
like her fight or
petrified.
flight should have been kicked into fight. But I gotta say this: a lot of the problems in this movie were caused by men. If Kane
True.
didn't go off by himself instead of saying, somebody come down here with me, I feel like somebody would have caught him and would have said, don't fuck with that. Leave it alone. And then when, he was infected with the face hugger, Captain Dallas was like, Ripley, if you don't open this effing door, I'm gonna put my boot so far up your ass, you're gonna be tasting shoe leather. And she's like, you can say what you want. You're not getting
Yeah.
in this ship. You guys are contaminated. And even with I'm so upset that I can't remember her name because she also said something sensible. She was like, forget the ship. Let's just blow this mother up and just go. We'll take our chances and
Yeah.
just go.
Her name is Lambert. I'm looking at the IMDb.
Lambert.
Yeah.
Lambert, that's right. And I'm just like, and I as a- you know, as more the most I think I've watched this maybe like 7 or 8 times now. The first Alien is my favorite by far. But every time I watch this, I'm like, God, if y'all would just listen to other people, so many outcomes would have been vastly different. You might not have been able to save every person, but more than Ripley would have survived this dangerous encounter of the third kind.
Yeah, there's a couple times where I was like kind of questioning people's intelligence. Not Ripley. Ripley was like the only one who was like intelligent the whole movie through.
As
Kane when he
much
like
as
Yeah.
he fell down and he's inspecting the egg and like you see movement in the egg. That's when I'm like, I'm getting the fuck away from this thing. And then, but even after that, so like he's still looking at, oh, it's moving, but then the egg opens. Then you definitely want to have some space away from that fucking thing. But not only after that, he looks inside of it, and then that's when I was like referring to like all the organs and stuff. Like I was wondering what they
Mm-hmm.
made the prop out of. But like he's looking inside where you could see all that fleshy substance within the egg, and he's like sticking his head in there. I'm like, wow, you're an idiot, sir. And then he gets hugged by the face hugger.
He
And
gets a sexually transmitted infection that led to a disease.
yeah.
You want to call it that? Yes.
So and then the other part where I was questioning people's intelligence, like when they're trying to ice after they bring in the characters from um you know from the planet onto the ship. There's a point where it's Ripley, I think Ash and Kane are looking at like his body. What's his character's name? No, not Kane. Yeah, they're looking at Kane's body.
Dallas.
Dallas, Ripley, and Ash are looking at Kane's body. They bring him into the room, and the face hugger runs off, and like they should have just left the door just closed that whole time. Like they don't know where the face hugger is, and like Kane wakes up and he's subconscious. That's when they're like they should have been okay, now you got to quarantine. You're quarantined in this room for 24 hours until we know what the fuck's going on. But they just let him have Thanksgiving dinner with everyone, like Jerry was saying
And then he got
prior.
Kool-Aid all
Yeah.
over the Thanksgiving stuffing, which was very rude.
Yeah,
That food looked very
that was.
appetizing. And I'm not an
This
astronaut.
would actually look pretty good. Yeah, and then
Oh
Uh,
god.
yeah, Parker was like, "Oh, the food's not that bad. Come on."
I
Like,
know.
and then he got the alien pop out of his chest. Which my first introduction to that was actually Spaceballs, and they had
Yes.
John Hurt
Yes.
reprise his role in Spaceballs, so I knew that that scene from that. So like I kind of like
Oh my honey,
this is
oh my darling.
Aliens like one of those movies you kind of without watching it you kind of know what the movie is through pop culture, like through other mediums. Just kind of like Jaws, like you kind of know what Jaws
Yeah,
is without
nowadays.
watching it. Yeah, then nowadays, exactly. So like you kind of internalize the movie without watching it. So like that's how I felt about Alien for the longest time. I'm so glad I had the reason to watch it. It's been on my list forever. So thank you for picking this, Jerry. And like
This is the second good pick. The next one's probably gonna flop.
That's fine. This makes up for it because no, this has been on my list for so long, and I gotta say, Sigourney Weaver looks fucking great in this movie. Like,
Yes, she does.
she looks so good. Like I don't know, her face is just so chiseled and just so perfect. I don't know what she does, but
And then the
she
poofy
looks
hair
great.
of like the late 70s into the 80s. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
everything I wanted.
yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
smoking their
This,
rolled up cigarettes. This is
this is
like this was an
and this,
80s movie before the 80s.
yeah, yeah, exactly. This is. I feel like this is like the turn of the century of the '80s with this movie. But this is 5 years prior of Ghostbusters, so like that's like my earliest role that I'm used to seeing Sigourney Weaver. So it's nice to even see her a younger version where she looks great, and I like they're not afraid to make her look sweaty and beat up and like it's all real and gritty. Like if this movie was made today, everyone has perfect makeup, perfect face, perfect lighting. Like this
That
is just
was
nitty gritty and
I
she's
liked
sweating,
how
she's
they
fighting
were.
for her life.
I do
It's
agree.
intense.
Them making her look like she's going through, just physically all of these different situations. Like you can see the stress like on her face and like on her clothes and body from how dirty she is. Like it adds that much more feel like, oh wow, this is real and it's happening. Because for me,
Yeah.
the only other movie that was like that was Predator 1. Yeah, Predator 1 when Arnold Schwarzenegger, does the mud and he's like, all right, I got to camouflage to stop him from seeing me. So I was like, yeah, this is good stuff. This is what good movies are made of. Like, give me give me a movie protagonist that's not afraid to get dirty and stuff.
like I wanted to
Yeah, we
bring up
need some grit.
I want to bring up this
Go
one
ahead.
part. Like there's a part when she's climbing up the ladder. It's more near the end, and the most like she drops her hand. It's like a focus on her fucking hand, like coming up in the shaft. You
Yeah,
can
and it's just like covered
see
in oil and stuff.
oil, dirt, all like it felt like it had metal particles in it
Oh, with the
and
hand,
everything.
the close
And the
up.
hand, you close up, and then you see
Yeah.
her come up,
That
and she's
is
all
such a great
dirty.
shot. I
And I'm
love
just
that
like,
shot. I was going to
that's
mention
the
that.
I'm like, that's when you see like she's been through the shit. She's been running around. They're
Mm,
like Josh has been mentioning, like if you've seen like a new movie now, we wouldn't have got that at all. God, you
Everybody
guys,
got
no,
fucking French
too
tips. Their
perfect.
I
hands
know
are
we
perfectly manicured and
Too
moisturized.
perfect.
we need this generation of women style like characters for like action movies to come back. Like we had Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and they had what's her name running around fucking heels the whole fucking
Oh yeah,
time.
Bryce
I
Dallas
get that.
Howard. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
she
like,
had
fuck off
perfect
with the
hair and
heels.
everything.
Perfect. Yeah, everything was normal. I'm like, but she was a little
Mm,
sweaty. This one, like, in this movie, she's just like, I'm carrying this frame forward that probably weighs 50 pounds. Let's give it take
yeah,
that. And it's on half the time. And like she's
Mhm.
running around the whole crew.
So
She's
she's
like,
got that much more extra heat, like
that's
just
yeah,
being
that's
exuded
she's
on her.
at one point she yells at mother and she's just like, can we turn on the
You
air, like
bitch.
AC,
Yeah.
please? Yeah, like don't overheat us now. I'm still fucking here. Like,
Yeah.
So before we go further, I have one more thing I want to add. So, you know what else happened in 2019? A high school in New Jersey made a play out of Alien, and Sigourney Weaver was invited, and she actually showed up and gave her, like credits and applause to the students for using their creativity and commitment to doing such things because I think they
I
use like
wonder.
recycled toys and merchandise and stuff.
Huh.
huh?
How do they? So they make the alien costume. Now I got to see the play. Do they have it
I
on?
I
want to
think they
see. I
probably
want to
just
find it.
made it like out of cardboard and blankets, probably. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like,
Kids are
I,
ingenuitive.
that's pretty cool. I like that. I like how she
I thought that was
she's
very
so
interesting.
proud of that. She
If I
like go. Oh, go.
oh, I was just gonna say, if I was Sigourney Weaver and that happened to me, I would definitely take a picture with like all those kids together and frame it in the school and like fucking tap con it to the
Yeah.
brick
Take
so nothing
ownership.
can happen to it.
Yeah. Take ownership of the school. Definitely.
yo,
Make it
that's
all that
not
way.
okay. I looked it up. There's a picture of the xenomorph, and it's not that bad. It is definitely human height instead of having it on the still like the stilts and everything. But that's like what we get.
That doesn't
Pull,
look.
pull
That
it up.
actually looks pretty
Yeah,
good.
that doesn't
Yeah,
look too
it's
bad.
That looks
proper.
very good,
It's like
actually.
human height and everything, but it looks pretty well. The details on it are nice enough to work for a school play.
Man, you could pull it up on your computer. I could share
I
it.
I I know. I just do this quick on my phone. That's how I do
Makes it so
it.
it's a better picture if we could
I
share it.
know.
I wanted to
Well,
go
like,
back to like everyone looks perfect in movies today, like that and that scene where you're mentioning like she's going through the nitty gritty and her hands out and she's all sweaty, like her going through that turmoil and like her sweating and being through like the thick and thin, like she still looks great. Like she still looks good. So like I think just people being able to go through that turmoil and be able to come on the other side, like it's that I think that's more attractive than just someone who's
Hmm.
fucking perfect all the time, you know?
hmm
Someone who could fucking really get in the real shit. I don't fuck fuck these attractive Barbie dolls. Like I don't care about that.
So, Josh, there's a question I have to ask you. So, you said this is like your first viewing of Alien, like ever.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah.
familiar with the prequels Prometheus and Alien Covenant?
oh god.
So okay, so this I actually my introduction to Alien was Prometheus. Someone showed me it. It was in college. I think it was back in 2012. I don't
That was
really
Connor.
remember it. I remember certain scenes that were familiar um to Alien that like mirrored them each other, like the face hugger in the beginning, and then there's some like blue man group alien, and then somehow the blue man group alien and the face hugger created the xenomorph, and I remember that's all I remember.
Okay. This
For
is,
some reason.
I was going to recommend Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but I was like, no, because I went back and I rewatched them and I'm like, while I like them, I know that other people might not find them as
Like,
good
I
because it's
didn't hate
essentially
Prometheus.
it's
well,
like I like it, but I when we get to Covenant, that's where I was like, okay, everything you just built up, you just lost me on
they deleted it.
because it essentially turned into a Frankenstein experiment.
It did. It did do a real big twist, like a turn. It's weird as hell. I don't get it. It's like, but Covenant fits in Alien really well. The only thing that puts Prometheus into the movie is the fucking ship, because the ship that we have is the ship in the freaking movie of Alien that we get to see, like the weird
So Prometheus is
U-shaped
like the
ship.
the origin of the Strex signal. Is that right?
No, not technically. Hmm.
Hmm.
David. David. uh, hmm. I thought he let them live in him.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Hmm. There's so many new morphs. Is that the white one? Yeah. That's the one that killed the captain, right? And then the Covenant, right? He walks
Yes.
into the room and it just takes him out. Yeah. That one was
Yeah.
no, they had a lot of neat like morphs in that movie. That's why like that one works with me a lot more than Prometheus. The only thing is like Prometheus that pissed me off is that our first look of a xenomorph is at the end of the fucking movie, and we don't get to see it at all. It just ends in like early stages
It's an
of like
end
being
credit.
the yeah, it's an end credit thing. You don't get to fucking see it until the end, and that's what everybody was looking forward to. But no, we had to wait until the end of it. And hi, Latrey, what's up? Must be nice.
Hi, Jolly Dead Man. Thank you for joining our podcast. I just wanted to ask Big Booty, how long could you not hear Jerry? Was that for a little bit? Or
I think
no?
my mic may have turned off for like just a quick minute.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Matt. Sorry, I didn't mean
But
to.
I'm gonna
it's
grab some
so
water. I'll be
freaking
right back, guys.
it's such a weird thing. Like with if we continue on with the Prometheus stuff, it's just so disconnected because the route they're going with the ship in the first movie, we get to see the giant monster on the ship that they have, like the man in the seat that they had, kind of. And that fits in with the Prometheus movie, but now we don't. Then like Prometheus slowly morphs into Covenant. We lose all of that because that David dude just like wiped them the fuck out. It's really stupid. It's really weird. I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. But the jump back to Aliens, God, I actually I haven't seen this movie in fuck, I think 10 years. It's been a while since I've really watched the Alien franchises, and you're gonna keep playing with the screens, aren't you?
I fucked up the order. So
Oh God, Davis,
Jem
just watch.
Davis says just watch Alien was on TV in the UK. Oh, cool.
Oh fuck
Was
yeah!
it was this your first time watching Alien, or have you seen it before? Because this is my first time. So go ahead, Matt. Wait. I'm gonna fix the
To,
order. I'm gonna fix the order. Time out
okay,
for a second.
what's happening? Please stand by. Please
We fixed
stand
it.
by.
Wait. Oh no, you're supposed to be in the middle. Whatever. Wait. Go ahead, Matt. Keep talking. Keep talking. What are you gonna say?
But yeah, it's been such a long time since I've watched. It's been such a long time since I've seen the Alien movie, like the first one in forever. Like for me, like I joined in with Alien with Alien 2 was like my dad. I think my dad watched Alien 2 more than well, Aliens more than Alien. So I would more be like
Aliens.
around Aliens
Yeah.
than Alien. But like I end up like yeah, like like I ended up going back and watching the first one and then going onwards with it. But the one thing I did like about this movie, but we haven't because we haven't talked about it yet, is like the ending of the movie is like Ripley's like settled in.
Yeah.
She's all calm and relaxed. She's putting Jones to sleep, and like she's getting ready. And as she's like at her vulnerable spot, and like she like notices as she's like activating certain like stuff that set her off like autopilot, so she can take her nap to get her to like the next location. I think she said within the next 6 weeks she should be landing, getting to the nearest station, and what's it called? Like out of nowhere, we noticed the xenomorph is in that little hub, and I love how nobody would have thought of that. That it would try to go to that escape the extra ship they have
Mm-hmm.
and hide there, and then come back out and get them later on. That was a neat thing that the alien was hiding in it. They come back later, and I was actually surprised that the alien didn't like. I thought the alien would be more aggressive, but like
It
they
was
didn't.
almost
This
docile, like it
it
was
was
in
really
hibernation.
docile. Yeah, it was taking its rest, but like it felt like it was like in this one, it looks like the xenomorph was more docile to how the later movies get it to be, because later movies give it more energy and all that stuff. And this one, I know, but like it just feels but like in those xenomorphs, like they can go like 50-0, man, and just kept on going. But like this one was like, I get it's the first time seeing it. It's like the first time giving us information about it. Maybe like they stretch up like stretch upon its like abilities and like what it can do later down the road. But like it was just like I'm so like when I was watching this, so I'm like so used to it being more like energy, not like trying to just look at it. Yeah, and I'm like, this is a little different. I like it. I like it. But I'm like, this is not how it usually acts. And she activates that the what's it, the smoke and like I feel like it's like coolant, like it made it freak out more that would come out of his little hiding hole so she can like once she got herself into the spacesuit and strapped herself in so they can like shoot it out the fucking like door, the escape, well, the hatch, yeah, out the airlock, and I'm like, damn, I'm like, and it was holding up. I'm not gonna lie, that thing held up next to that freaking to the jet, like the engine. It was holding up against the engine. I was like, huh, this thing's pretty tough than I remember the other ones are too, like with it. But damn, okay, yes, it's tougher. Like it feels it insect.
Who cares?
No,
Mm.
no, like there. I was like, I get it. They're on the ship. They should have weapons on board, or have a good guy like a mechanic that can craft up a weapon like if they didn't have flamethrowers they can like make up a flamethrower somehow within like a few like within like a given time period of somebody keeping an eye on things so no one gets attacked while they're doing it. But like it was just like that whole ending was like, and then it's just her going like relaxing going to sleep finally,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, that is a good fade out with them doing that to space. And was like, all right. And that's how the movie fucking ends. There's no other nonsense and shit going on with it either. What's it called?
I would like to
Can't.
Just speak
apologize. My
clear. Can we hear you?
microphone died. My
Oh.
microphone died. I forgot to charge it up.
Okay.
I would like to
I saw.
apologize, everyone.
It's okay. um, at least there's an explanation.
Hmm.
So when Ripley went on the ship and she did the whole self destruct with the the cockpit that she's in right now. You know, she's sailing away. I was like, the ship blows up, and I was like, okay, why isn't the movie not over?
Ending.
No, why isn't it ended? And it kind of kept going, and then like she puts the cat to bed, and then she's like going to, you know, hypersleep, and then you see the xenomorph, and it's like within all the gears and everything, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't even expect this at all, and I was like, how is she gonna get out of this one? And then like she like meticulously planned out everything, like to have it shoot out into space and be basically, you know, evaporated by the engine itself. I thought that was like her whole plan was pretty cool, and I liked how like she quietly thought to herself like what she was gonna do, and you don't really figure out what she's doing until she's like in like halfway through executing it, basically. Like unless you see the movie before. So like that was a good surprise. I like that aspect.
So just I guess to wrap it up, do you guys want to go ahead and get into final thoughts and review? I can lead the charge this time. I usually like to go last. I'll lead the charge.
All right,
go ahead.
sounds good to me.
This is I've watched the first 3 Aliens because I personally like Alien 3. I thought it was a little bit outside of my comfort zone, expecting what I wanted going forward in the franchise, but I still thought it was pretty enjoyable. But as far as, you know, the very first one, Alien, it for me it set a really good standard again with, you know, like a creature feature, because to me the only other creature feature I thought was really good back then was The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch the black and white one back then. I didn't watch that one until very recently.
Yeah, that's where
I was
went.
thinking the black and white one for a second.
Yeah.
Nah, it was the one with Brendan Fraser.
When you
I
said
still
back
think the
then,
one in
I'm
black and
thinking-
white is very, very good as well.
Boris Karloff.
Yes.
Karloff.
But it I love how everything came back full circle, because in the beginning they were like, we're gonna evac the damn thing outside in the airlock, and we're gonna just lead it there and just whatever. And I was like, okay, you know, it'd be cool if they do it, but you know, obviously they didn't, because that alien just killed everyone in such a stealthy way, like almost like a jungle cat, because he knew the layout of that ship better than they did, and it had only been alive maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, not even 45, maybe like 30 minutes. For however long it needed to get to that point in its life.
It showed how intelligent it was when it went in the cockpit and in the escape pod, and knew this is where I'm gonna survive.
And even when it was ejected into space, it was still resilient enough to be like, okay, I got to get back on my only means of safety. It knew it couldn't survive long in outer space. So I think it would have entered its own version of, you know, hypersleep or hibernation until the right conditions were met to bring it back to life, almost like a water bear. The little tiny microscopic thing. Yeah, that thing. And I always called them a water bear.
They're called that too. Oh, I think the tardigrade is like the more scientifically accurate name.
I definitely this was one of the few movies that showed, you know, sometimes if you shut up and listen to other people, you can avert a whole crisis. As with all the men, not all the men, because Parker had the idea, let's just fucking kill this thing, which, you know, eventually did happen, albeit at the cost of his life. But if they would have went through the protocols of quarantine and, you know, execution, everybody could have been like, all right, well, we lost one member, but everybody else is still alive, so thank God. For me, I'm going to give this movie a very solid 10. I've rewatched this so many times, and it's always still so fresh. Like, whenever I watch it, I see something new that I didn't see before. And it's always going to be one of those movies, I think, that, you know, young directors or filmmakers who want to get into the sci-fi side of movie making should watch before they do it, just so they can see like, okay, this movie did something that set uh, a big impact going forward for a lot of the culture. And I think it would also be really nice to see more actresses not necessarily get the Sigourney Weaver treatment, but more so how you see her fight for her life. You see her get gritty. You see the mud. You see the blood. You see a lot of the blood. And more importantly, you see like the digression of her psyche as the movie goes further, because it goes from everybody watching Kane die to then Dallas to finding out that Ash is a robot who is hell bent on trying to kill them all to bring the life form back to be studied and dissected, to even having to make the hard choice of, all right, I've got one chance to do this, and if I screw up and fail, I'm gonna die and be stuck in space. And I really, really love seeing Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. She's one of my favorite actresses, and I think this movie is very well rounded. 10 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Shit, I'm next. So no, I am following suit with Jerry on this one. I'm going with automatic. I'm just gonna say it out loud. It's a fucking 10. It's well rounded. Like the story goes well. The mayhem that happens by one fucking infiltrated fucking creature that is highly intelligent off the bat is like absolutely damn robot. Nice. Yeah, and having the crew going against each other with this highly intelligent creature on board is even like it just makes it more of a mess and everything. And then we had like all the graphics with it, like the film, like shots of the ship, like Josh was talking about earlier. We had the spaceship. It like had the same feel as Star Wars, but it had like a different take to it. I feel like because like a different style, the models of it, and what's it called? Some of the special effects they did when like Jerry mentioned Ash, like when we bust Ash open basically, and he's freaking out. Then they finally get him to settle down, and they plop him on the table. It's just his fucking head just there. It looks like almost like his fucking like it's a real living fucking head just talking to you with these fucking white tubes and everything coming out of the damn system out of the body. It looks like legitimate. It didn't look totally fake to me. Like I can believe that. There's the xenomorph like sneaking around and having like his fun time just killing everybody. Like it was actually not like nice that we don't know what the fuck it is until when it actually does show itself properly in front of everybody. It's like it just has like this movie just has good like really good qualities. James Cameron did a great job with doing like this whole movie. Was this like one of his first movies, or was his first movie like
Ridley Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think this might have been his
It's definitely
very first.
early. It's definitely early. I don't know.
because this is definitely his like good start. If this is like one of his first movies, is a good starting point to show off how much talent he does have. And wait, was Terminator? So he did Terminator.
Terminator was after this.
Terminator's at this. Yeah, so like this is a good
No.
starting point.
James Cameron did Terminator. He did the sequel. He did Aliens. Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott did the first one. Oh, I'm thinking for some
so it's
reason
Ridley
James Cameron
Scott, and then James Cameron did Aliens.
Okay, Ridley Scott. Yeah. All right. Well, Ridley Scott did a great job. I thought it was James Cameron for some reason with all this because his name is attached to it.
Right director, wrong movie.
Yeah. Well, like this guy did a great job doing like this movie setup, and like the execution from it, like basically point A to point B, wasn't like it didn't fall off. Like you guys did say, like it kind of slowed down and everything. Alien was a second film by Scott. Awesome, thank you. And yeah, I just said overall, like this movie did I started off with watching Aliens first, and then I had to go back to see the first one. And to me, this does have a better. To I don't know. It's hard for me to decide between the both of those two movies because I enjoy them very well. But for what this movie was for its time, it was amazing. So I'm sticking with a 10.
Yeah, for my first viewing of this movie, it's definitely been on my list. Like I said, for a very long time. It just, I just never came about it. I'm very glad Jerry has picked this movie because it gave me the perfect excuse to fully watch it all the way through. I watched some parts in passing, which I kind of wish I haven't because some of the parts were kind of spoiled for me. But nevertheless, the movie is a 10 out of 10 for me. I definitely want to watch it again. I probably will watch it again within the next year or so. Actually, I'll watch it in 2023 again for sure.
Right around the corner.
So yeah, Sigourney Weaver looks great for the third time. I just wanted to say that. I gotta say, Parker and Dallas were my other two favorite characters within the crew. I like how it starts out. There's not really a sequential character, like a main character. It's just like you're following the whole crew. Like you don't know that Ripley is going to be the main character at the end of the movie if you're just watching it because it just follows, like it treats every character as equals. So like it kind of opens the case where you don't know who is going to be surviving till the very end, which is good. Like that's how most horror movies should be filmed, because then if you're focusing on this one character throughout the entire film, especially in the beginning, you're going to know, oh, that character is not going to die. So I really applaud how they kind of they showcase every crew member and they follow them throughout the movie, and they all felt like they're equals. It didn't seem like Sigourney Weaver was like top billing even like in the movie. I guess like technically she was because she like turned out to be the surviving character at the end, but it didn't feel like that in the beginning. Also, I gotta say like this movie, 1979, Sigourney Weaver's the lead actress in an action sci-fi movie where it's beloved by many demographics, by males, by females, by sci-fi nerds, by casual moviegoers at the same time. So there's a lot of movies today that are trying to say, oh, we're the first led female character in an action sci-fi movie, which is complete bullshit because this movie came out in 1979. So, and for those people who are saying that men don't want to watch a movie with a female lead in an action sci-fi role, just come back to this. 1979, Alien was already made decades before. So, there's already proof into the equation that this will work and that people will watch it and it's going to be beloved for generations. So,
And that character stayed around for, I believe, another three movies afterwards as the main, technically. Yeah,
Aliens
Aliens,
2,
Aliens
3.
3,
Yeah, another
then
3, and then
yeah,
Resurrection. So
yep.
another 3. And I want to
um,
piggyback off what Josh said. You could also watch Silent Hill, which is basically just an all-female casted movie, and also have a
True.
very similar experience.
And then like another thing to piggyback off Josh is with the prequels, they even stayed true with like the lead female role also, because they didn't. Yeah, was it the Prometheus? They had the one lead scientist that was a woman, and then in Covenant we had shoot, what's her name? I forget. Damn it, it's been a while for Covenant.
Oh
It's
God,
been
I
it's been
know
a
who you're
while,
talking about. I just can't
and they
think of her
brought
name.
back the
I haven't
lead,
seen
and
it.
Her
they brought
husband was
back the
James
lead.
Franco.
Mm-hmm. And then they brought back the lead role. Technically they brought her back for a second for us in that movie also, so we never forgot about her. So like this movie kept us going with lead female role actresses. throughout the franchise. It didn't drop that ideal setup. So
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of, like I said, a lot of movies are trying to claim like they're the first female lead action role, which is like today, which is not true at all.
no, and then after
Um,
that we had Terminator, and like then that was the lead
yeah,
actress
Sarah
role,
Connor.
and then
Yeah, Sarah
Sarah
Connor.
Connor. Then after that, they Terminator kept going with like bringing her back into the veil, but the next movie was about her son that's supposed to be the real lead, but she was the big part of that movie also because she knew what the fuck she was doing. And
Mm.
then in the third one, she wasn't in it, but her spirit and of like being like the main knowing all around person about these things was still there also, and she supplied them with fucking weapons. That also got her I think they gave her a Sarah Connor TV show afterwards,
Yeah,
and
I
then
heard that was actually
that was
Yeah.
decent. I heard that was decent. I never watched it, but I heard it was actually pretty good.
like these franchises made fucking characters that brought upon like crazier shit, and that's the weird fucking part nobody notices. With these
Before we
Yeah,
main
it seemed
close
like
out,
it kind
roles.
of picked up.
oh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just gonna say it seemed like it kind of picked up and they progressed the storyline like in a organic way. At least like with the Sarah Connor stuff. I just wanted to read these last couple comments before we finish off. So Latre says next peck should be My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. I know.
Absolutely not.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
sorry,
Matt's
let's
gonna
try.
pick that. That's definitely gonna
No,
be one of Matt's choices.
no,
I know. I've seen a
no.
list of his choices, and that was definitely like on the top of it. Um, Jem Davies says we have asked if we've done Blade Runner. We actually have not. That
No.
is one I would like to
It's
do
on my list.
for sure. Yeah.
I have never
that
seen
would be
it.
definitely a good one. Yeah. So more of an excuse to watch it, to
I
do it
just
on
know
the
the South
podcast.
Park episode when they made fun of it all the time for some reason. Like we have so many
I don't
copies of
remember
Blade Runner.
But
I don't
before
think I've
we
seen
close
that.
ourselves out, I just want to give myself a pat on the back because this is one of the few episodes where I hosted where all of our scores were basically the same. And I think this is like the
And
second
they're all
movie I've
tens.
done where everything
Yep.
was a perfect 10. So this was, let's give ourselves a round of applause as we
Yeah.
close out.
10 out of 10.
And then while
man. 10 out of 10.
while we're doing that, Matt, go ahead and give us your next picks.
Hold on, let me finish. There's a couple more comments here.
yeah,
Joe
read
Deadman
the
says,
two.
Have you watched The Good and the Bad and Ugly?" Yes, I've seen that. That's a good movie. I'm thinking of bringing
I
it.
have seen it. We haven't done on the podcast, but
No.
yes.
And then Jerry, have you seen it?
I don't believe I have. I'm familiar with the
Oh,
name. I
man.
just don't believe I've watched it.
It's one of
With
Clint
Clint
Eastwood's like 3 main movies
Yeah.
they had back then. Don't do the squint face.
I have
And
the same
then
birthday
Big
as Clint
Booty.
Eastwood.
Oh shit, you do. And then Big Booty Dandy said, "I put him in timeout for that choice." Thank you,
Thank
Big
you.
Booty Dandy.
Yeah.
So,
for
Matt,
My Little
what are
Pony,
your
but Matt already
choices?
picked that.
Shut up, Josh. Just shut up. But so I picked because I've been feeling like Tom and Jerry for a really long time, and like
Oh,
the
cool.
ones I love the most out of the shorts were the Musketeer episodes. So I'm going with these 2 shorts because they're pretty short episode
Okay.
parts to it. So we have what's it called? Tom and Jerry, Tom and was it Sherry and
Tom
the
and
Royal
Sherry?
Catnip. Yeah, Tom and Sherry because that's the little baby
French.
mouse, the little Frenchie, yeah. And then you got the
Okay.
Royal Catnap. Then those are the 2 shorts. They're both on HBO Max, but they're in different seasons.
Okay.
Then the movie I'm gonna pick. It's not the original Musketeers, but this is the one I fucking grew up with. It's the Three Musketeers from 1993. It's
I think
to
I've
me,
watched
it's
that one.
decent. To me, it's decent,
Then
but I just
hold
wanted to do a
on.
Tom and Jerry thing. I just want to do something with Tom and
Interesting,
Jerry.
Interesting. I thought you were gonna pick the Three Musketeers, the '70s one, which I still haven't
No,
seen, but I know there's a
I've
Superman tie-in with that one.
I've like it's like I'm like I like I haven't seen that one, and I don't like. I feel like I want to set up because I heard that's the more superior one, and I just want to go with Tom and Jerry's Goofy, and the 1993 one is not 100% serious. It's kind of goofy.
That's the
in
one
the
with Tim
midst,
Curry,
too.
right?
Tim Curry,
That's
yes,
Yeah, I have watched a
and
little bit of that.
Charlie
Yeah.
Sheen's in it also.
Yeah.
fair. Okay.
I like
okay.
that
And
one.
it's funny.
I watched that as a
It's,
kid.
it's
It's
so
pretty
funny how
funny.
Charlie Sheen's character. I love how it's the whole opposite of what he is. But yeah, those are my picks
All
for
right. So
next
if you don't want to
podcast.
be spoiled for Tom and Sherry and a Royal Catnap and Three Musketeers 1993, make sure you watch it before next podcast episode. Same bat time, same bat place. I'm working on my outro. I'm trying to make it a little bit better.
No, that was cool.
That works.
So you guys ready to end this thing?
Sure, why not?
3, 2, 1. I want to thank you all for joining us once again tonight. I'm Jerry, guiding you all with Green Lantern's light.
I'm Superman Foul Matt.
I'm Josh, sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
Where we become super pals, one episode at a time. Good night, everybody.
You guys later.
Thanks
Don't
for
write us any
joining.
fan letters.
I enjoyed the comments. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, everybody.
Good night.
We love